We know Fox News is a propaganda outlet. We know that even their news side is filled with just commentators, people who are acting in tandem, in coordination with the Donald Trump campaign in an effort to brighten his electoral chances, to make it more certain that he has a better shot at winning the presidency. We know this. We know that their bright and shining North Star of journalism, Bret Baier, is a regular visitor to Mar-a-Lago, up to and including on holidays, in his little tuxedo. We know this. So it wasn't a surprise when Kamala Harris walked into a viper's den the other day and attempted ambush. She deftly and adroitly handled Bret Baier. But there was one moment, and I talked about this yesterday in a video. Here's the thumbnail. You can go find it if you want the full breakdown of what took place, where he played a clip that was, I don't know if to call it deceptively edited, but it was selectively omitted the part that was the most dangerous that Donald Trump spoke. And this is about dispatching the military, deploying the military to handle American citizens who disagree with him, or radical left lunatics, as he likes to call them. The enemy from within, he refers to them as. People like me. He specifically named, though, Adam Schiff and the Pelosi's radical left. Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi. It never stops. Never stops. So Bret Baier yesterday apologized, I guess. He didn't say I'm sorry, but he did admit to making a mistake in playing the wrong clip, he says. But I want to lead with this, and this is why these moments are very important. Kyle Griffin, he's an NBC reporter, does amazing work on the front of the insurrection and reporting on the insurrectionists. He tweeted this: Vice President Harris's interview with Fox News' Bret Baier drew 7.1 million viewers. The network says it was the highest rated interview of the 2024 political season. 7.1 million people, including many, many, many regular Fox News viewers who don't get the full picture about what Donald Trump says, didn't get to see Donald Trump say the thing about dispatching the military to deal with, to handle his political opponents, because Bret Baier played some bullshit. So here is let me also say this. In the moment, Bret Baier could have said, when Kamala Harris said, hey, listen, that's not the right clip. No. With all due respect, which he is due none, with all due respect, Bret, that's not what he said. That's not the right clip. He could have, in the moment, said, oh, yeah, you're right, that's not. Hey, let's cue the right clip. Let's get the right clip. He didn't even acknowledge it. Now, after the fact, he's acknowledging it. And we'll talk about why this is such a stark problem beyond the obvious. Here he is apologizing. Here he is admitting that he made a mistake. A lot of air quotes today.
Harold, I did make a mistake, and I want to say that mistake. When I called for a soundbite, I was expecting a piece of the enemy from within, from Maria Bartiromo's interview, to be tied to the piece from your town hall, Harris, where you asked the former president about the enemy from within. It just had the piece about the town hall, and just take a listen to what I meant to roll.
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within, not even the people that have come in and destroying our country. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
My point is that we asked him the question about that sentence and what he was trying to mean.
So 7.1 million people viewed the clip that helped Trump, the clip that was strategically had the bad parts omitted from it. 7.1 million. How many do you think saw him admit that he made a mistake and then play the real clip? How many? 250,000? A fraction of the original thing. This is why journalism, it's so important to get it right the first time, because a vastly larger number of people see the original reporting, the mistake, and then very few see the correction. And that was by design, in my estimation. This is not an accident. They did this on purpose. And I don't think that this apology or this admission of mistake was intended to be done. But Bret Baier's caught so much shit and his reputation has been diminished so much, like that's possible, that he had to make a public statement about it. Now, it gets worse. And this guy, I've got problems with him anyway, but Brian Stelter yesterday was on CNN talking about the difference with which Bret Baier interviewed Donald Trump in his first question and how he dealt with Kamala Harris. And it really does just put a nail in the coffin of Fox News for any hint or scintilla of sympathy that you have for them, or possible fairness and charity about them being a journalistic outlet. Watch Brian Stelter explain and just marvel at the complicity of Fox News coordinating with the Trump campaign.
You can tell a lot about an interview based on the first question that's asked. So watch Bret Baier ask Trump a first question last year, and then watch his first question to Harris.
Mr. President, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
You know, I've asked this question, the same first question, to all the candidates I've interviewed this year, and that is this. What do you think is the most important issue facing the country right now? Madam Vice President, thank you for the time.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Brett.
You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
What a striking difference. With Trump, he warmed up his subject, tried to make Trump comfortable. With Harris, he went for the jugular right away. We looked at the transcripts of both interviews and found that he also interrupted Harris a lot more often. This, of course, reflects what the Fox audience wanted to see. They wanted to see Harris squirm in her seat. Now, to be fair, Baier also pressed Trump, challenged Trump about his classified documents mishandling. So both interviews were probing, but in very different ways. And with Harris, one of the big takeaways is that she sat there and was interrupted over and over again. Some people think she was mansplained. Of course, others think she was filibustering and avoiding Baier's questions.
So look, we can for once and for all dispense with the idea that Fox News is anything other than a vile fascistic propaganda outlet, churning out good stories for Republicans and attacking Democrats on an hourly basis, a quarter-hour basis over there. Their journalists, their straight news people are absolutely as perniciously partisan as Sean Hannity, as Tucker Carlson when he worked there, as Laura Ingraham, as dipshit Jesse Waters and the rest of the morons, save Jessica Tarloff on the Five. Gross. Anyway, I would invite your opinion. What do you think? We can talk about it in the comments there. That'll help YouTube to share this content with new viewers. You can also call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Please consider supporting this work. You can click the join button below right over here somewhere. Where's the screen? I have no idea. Oh, that's about, right about there. You can click the join button, become a channel member for $2 a month. You can also go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I'd love to see you there. Follow me on social media if you're, one, prepared for a terrible time, and two, already there. I'm at Dollemore everywhere. I'd love to see you. I will see you next time. You too, Bret Baier, pumpkin-headed freak. And be genuine. Take care of one another.